All right, welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we're going to go over why I think the PSA Offer Program is going to change the card industry and how we sell cards pretty much forever. It's been a minute since I made a video. I've just been caught up in some other things. I'm actually in the process of developing a web app to help basically manage sports cards and trading cards in general, Pokemon as well, other TCG. But I'm just tired of using Excel, so I thought a web app would be a pretty cool thing to integrate. So I have a bunch of cool features on there. Not sure if I'm gonna, release it in the near future or not, but I'm working on that. So that's been taking some time. Other things, I've been picking up some cards here and there. Kind of been a little bit light on my buying. So I've been buying some pretty big cards that have made a dent in my bank account, like that Carlos Alcaraz right there. Kind of a long-term play. It was $800 on the NetPro website, but they're almost out of stock. So if you want one, go get it. Anyway, so yeah, we're going to get into my recent PSA sub. I have some cards that are being sent home to me because they didn't have an offer or I didn't like the offer. But other than that, I accepted a ton of offers on the website for my recent PSA submission. So let's go over those real quick, and then we'll talk about the pros and cons of the offer program, as well as how I think it's going to change the industry as a whole. So getting into my PSA reveal, I accepted majority of the offers that were thrown my way. We'll go talk about them a little bit here. First up, we sold a couple of Stephon Castle Prism cards, some red, white, and blues. They sold for $108 and $109. The comps were around the $120, so after fees and stuff from eBay, even from PayPal goods and services, you're really looking at about the same price, if not even more. So I thought that was a pretty solid offer, just accepted those right away. The Castle Orange Ices sold for $105 and $107. The comps are kind of all over the place here, 110 to like 160, 175, but as more people start grading these cards and as they get them back in their for their PSA subs, I expect the price to settle around that $100 range. So I felt 105, 107, while a little bit low, was pretty fair. Got some McCain Ices, red and pink. Sold those for $132. Those are doing like anywhere from 100 to 160 as well. So kind of hard to comp those, but 132 I thought was very, very strong. So I was happy with that. I made like over $100 in those cards. I bought one of the, I think it was the pink for like $250 or something, $210. Maybe it was the red, I forgot. Why not making over $100 on that card? So great ROI there. Yeah, Castle Red Emergent, there was one comp at like $219. I sold mine for $209 from the offer. So very, very strong offer there. Cool card, made a lot of money on that one as well. I bought it for like $70 raw maybe. So massive returns on that card. So those are a few of the cards that I submitted offers on. I'm going to do a full PSA reveal from that submission, including all the cards. I still think I have like 16 cards or something that I'm getting sent back home to me. So we'll go over that whole submission as well as the cards I sold on the offer program more in depth. But I just want to talk a little bit about the pros of this program. So first up, it's instant. You get the cash instantly. I had a great experience. You set up a Stripe account and you just instantly get it in your bank account the next day. So there's no fees, no negotiating. It's very simple to do. So I think it's really good in that sense. Also, you're able to stay very, very liquid. Sometimes you might be able to squeeze another $5, $10, $15 out of a card, maybe more, but is it really worth it to have to find the right buyer, have it sit on eBay for 3, 4, 5 days, a month, 2 months? Like, as we know in the card market, so much can happen in even a week, with players playing. They do bad, they get hurt. Like, the card market's very, very volatile now, especially modern. So I just don't know if it's worth it to take the risk that your card may go down in value while it's getting shipped back from PSA to you. So having that instant offer right there is really good to stay liquid. Definitely could have made a little bit more money, possibly. I mean, who knows? Maybe even not. They are based on Card Ladder. I actually watched or listened to a podcast with someone who's in the offer program who accepts offers, and I guess it's a breaker with PSA, and it's all Card Ladder value. So sometimes in the calculation, it's not necessarily just based on the card itself, but also on the player's market and other cards they may have. The card level value can be a lot higher than comps sometimes and a lot lower than comps sometimes, or right around the same amount. So from my experience, it was all pretty good. I actually sold a Brian Thomas Jr. pink wave for like $29. That was like $5 or $6 over comps. So I'll take that, all day. So very fair offers for the most part. Of course, you're gonna get one-offs that are not as fair, but again, for the most part, I think it's very good stuff, and you should be happy with the offers. And a big one, you don't have to deal with any shipping or returns, whatnot. It's super easy. So like, it's going to take a lot of time to ship all these cards, especially if you have a sub with 30, 40, 50, 100 cards. To ship all those cards to buyers online and keep track of all that, it's a lot of work. And I'm up for it, I'm game for it, but at the same time, if I can just get that cash instantly, that's added value too. I'm willing to take a loss in terms of profit with a few dollars just so I can get that cash quicker, get a lump sum of money in to refund my bankroll. And then at that point, I don't have to deal with shipping the cards to anybody, or I don't have to deal with the cards getting lost in the mail, any of that kind of stuff. PSA handles all of that, and I can just sit back, collect all my money, and that's added value too. I'm willing to take a quote unquote loss for the card if I can get all that money quickly and at the same time not deal with any of the customer service that may come with shipping the card and all that time that's involved in that. There are some cons to the program as well. Sometimes the offers are inconsistent. We kind of already went over that, but you are going to get those offers. You're like, what the hell is this? Like, why is this even an offer for this card? This card goes for 2 times the amount. So that's one thing, but that's easily overlooked, and you can always send your card back to you or sent to the vault. You also still may be able to get more money on Discord, on eBay, on Instagram, etc. Again, the downside is that you have to go out and find the buyer or ship the card. You can still might be able to squeeze some more money out. So sometimes if you really want top dollar for your card, maybe the PSA offer program isn't for you, but sometimes you may still get over comps. One thing for me, for a growing channel, I'm trying to really produce more content for you guys and just grow my channel in general. And it does kind of hurt the content piece. There's going to be less PSA reveals probably on the internet and less cards. I won't be able to show all the cards in my submission because I sold them all instantly. And also, the PSA Vault goes hand in hand with this as well. With people sending their cards off to PSA instantly after grading, even if they don't sell them to the offer program, there are going to be less cards getting revealed physically. So that's kind of a downside, but more geared towards content creators. Another one is not all cards get offers. Like I said, a lot of my cards did not get offers. It was more of the really liquid stuff that had comps, like the Jared McCain Prisms, the Castle Prisms, Buzelis, all that kind of stuff. But some of my Liv Morgan stuff I graded, and sure tennis stuff won't get offers. So, you're not going to get an offer for all of your cards, and that's okay. I'm not too mad about that. Another downside to the offer program is that it's kind of a conflict of interest, with PSA buying cards from you that they grade themselves. I don't know if they're going to be more enticed to grade, higher cards that wouldn't have normally got the grade they did, so they can offer more money and sell them to the repackers. I don't know. That's kind of a weird situation going on there, but I still think that there should be enough, it's still based on the card market, so I'm not too worried about it, but it is a little bit, something's fishy going on there, kind of. I don't know. We'll see how it pans out, but that's definitely something to take note of. It is a little bit conflict of interest. And then also you only have a day to decide, right? Like you only have about a day and a half to decide if your cards are worth accepting the offer for, if you want to send them home. So you kind of have to act fast. I will say you can field offers for your cards. Like keep that offer open, and then go on Instagram, go on Discord, go on Twitter, Facebook, whatever, and field offers for the card. If you get an offer higher in the PSA program, that's, you can do that. It's going to be harder for people to buy cards because they have to beat the PSA offer, which is already normally a good offer. That's going to be something that people run into a lot. And I think people who are flipping cards quickly at shows and stuff are going to find hard too, because I'm pretty sure if you send it to your vault, you can also accept offers to it as well. So that PSA offer is almost going to be the new benchmark for how much cards are worth now, which is crazy. So lastly, I will say you might be seeing less cards that are graded at shows. And I mean like freshly graded cards. Obviously, there's gonna be tons of graded cards out there at shows, and shows are more popular than ever now. But in terms of new fresh cards that are, first to see the market, this is the first time they've been available, you're gonna see less of those at shows. So a lot of dealers are gonna be having cards that they've bought from other dealers that they're flipping and stuff. It's not gonna be that fresh inventory that people are more willing to sell for under market price because they've already won on the card. If I graded a card for $20, I bought it for $5, I'm in it for $25, and it's a $150 card, I'm still willing to let go of it for $120 because I've already made my money on it. Whereas if someone bought that card for $120, $130, they have smaller margin to work with. So they're not willing to sell the card for a loss at that point or break even on it. So it might be harder to buy some of these freshly graded cards at shows or even on eBay online because people that are grading the cards are selling them instantly at PSA. Just something to note there. But overall, I think